Am I the asshole for moving out of my parents' house when my brother and his family moved in? There's a whole lot of unnecessary backstory I will leave out. I rented my parents' house after they retired and moved south. I paid slightly below market rate. The plan was for me to save up and eventually buy the house at a great price. They would then give that money to my brother as his part of their estate. My share was the subsidized rent and the very subsidized purchase agreement. Everyone thought this was fair, until my brother's wife started running up debts they couldn't cover. This led to them losing their home and needing help. I love my brother and my nephews, so when my mom asked me if they could move in, I talked to my husband and we agreed. We are in the process of adopting 2 siblings, but we are still not there. It was only going to be temporary, so why not? Half off the rent for a few months would totally help us with the down payment and expenses. They moved in February. When March rolled around, I transferred half my usual rent to my parents. My mom called to ask me where the rest was. I said I assumed that Brad was paying the other half. Nope, I had to pay all the rent. I asked why I had to pay for them to stay in my house. My mom said it wasn't my house yet and that I was being mouthy. I saw the writing on the wall. I paid the rent and started looking. We had a good amount saved up, and we didn't need a big old house with lots of maintenance issues we had been handling. We paid the full rent in April as well. But we moved out and into the house we closed on. It was ready for immediate possession. With my husband and I having decent income and 25% down, it went smoothly. The only downside is the much smaller yard. But it is a block away from a public park, so we aren't losing much. I did tell my parents we were leaving. May 1st, I got another call from my mom. She wanted the rent. I said I wasn't living there anymore. She said I was breaking our deal. I said that our deal never included me paying for my brother's living expenses. She said that they couldn't afford to cover the mortgage without my rent. I told her to get money from my brother. He was still working. She said he was trying to pay his debts. I said that his wife should get a job. I could write a much longer post just on this discussion. Long story short, she said I was being cheap and viscous to my brother and to my parents. We are settling into our newish house and just ignoring them for a while. But I'm wondering about if maybe I'm wrong. Am I the asshole? Definitely not the asshole. You didn't sign up to start supporting your brother and his whole family. And you were courteous when you paid the full rent and informed your mom you were moving out. Did your brother even say thank you for spotting his rent? No, he didn't. We barely talked. He is somewhat ashamed of his current situation, since he always made fun of me for living at home while he was out making something of himself. Damn, karma came back to bite him hard. But IMO, it might be best to go low contact for a little while. Like you said, you and your husband are trying to adopt siblings. You don't need this drama in your life right now. He is very rightly proud of his accomplishments. I might he weren't such a jerk about them, but I understand. You gave them more notice of leaving than they gave you, that you'd still be paying full rent to house a second family. So not the asshole. But let's be real. You were never getting to own that house, as long as your brother's family needed it. You'd probably have to evict them and deal with months of family drama and animosity. You did the right thing for your family, especially since you're trying to adopt. Owning a home and not having too many people in it are major factors in that process. Not the asshole. Your deal wasn't to cover rent for your brother and his family. I did tell my parents we were leaving. May 1st, I got another call from my mom. She wanted the rent. I said I wasn't living there anymore. She said I was breaking our deal. I said that our deal never included me paying for my brother's living expenses. She said that they couldn't afford to cover the mortgage without my rent. I told her to get money from my brother. He was still working. She said he was trying to pay his debts. I said that his wife should get a job. Long story short, she said I was being cheap and viscous to my brother and to my parents. You aren't being cheap. Your brother and parents are. Well, that's another episode of Am I the Asshole in the books. I really appreciate all of you who made it this far into the video. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, it would really help the channel out a lot if you gave the video a thumbs up, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.